Are you buying the crypto dip right now? XRP and the entire crypto market has fallen by quite some nice margins. I saw a lot of people in the comment section panicking or laughing at me for buying the dip. But I've already told you guys over on Twitter too that very often these people laugh because they're insecure or because they just want to hate on something. Very often they do. But let me tell you, I just keep on buying. We don't care what people say. We don't care if people laugh. It's because ultimately, I know every single dollar that I spend on these cryptos is, in my own opinion, gonna be a 99% chance to be a winner. And I'm talking about just some huge margins which they're gonna gain me in. So I'm just buying like a freaking madman. And as I've said over on Twitter, the only issue I am having right now is kind of a small little liquidity problem. It kind of looks as if we're almost running out of money because of the pace at which we are buying. And I'm buying every single thing. Let me quickly give you guys an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. All right, I want to quickly talk with you guys a little bit more about the price, then some XRP relisting. Of course, the crypto market falling down, why, what's going on, and a little bit of an article about that. Coinbase actually chickened out, and they actually don't want to compete with the SEC. We'll have some more talks about that. Before moving over into Cardano, and kind of an interesting article about a Cardano 8-up burn. Before moving over into some progress report on Ethereum. So a really packed video, and I definitely recommend you guys to press that like button if you appreciate them. And once more guys, put in the comment section down below if you are buying the crypto dip. All right, so Bitcoin fell back down, and we are basically retesting this demand zone actually of Bitcoin. This is the area which we've touched a couple of times in the past. It's at about 44, a little bit below 44,000. And as it's been screaming for a couple of weeks right now, a close below 44,000 on the Bitcoin pair would be quite bearish. All right, now it still depends on the exact circumstances, because the way at which it is looking right now, it basically looks as if Bitcoin made its big top right there, made a new low, made a new lower high, and is going to be making a new low, for example. Many people think that that's the pattern which is going to continue on, which is basically a bearish trend. However, I would like to argue that that isn't really the way in which it has gone. I would personally say, if you look at some of those bigger charts, you're seeing this as a sort of a first tip of many in a bigger bull run, where again, it's just about zooming out a little bit. Then again, that's always in the crypto space. It's really, really hard to know when it's done and what exactly constitutes as a bull market and when it's actually turned bearish, because it was bearish for a couple of weeks. Is this the entire bear market before we started a new cycle? And like, for example, here, was this the entire bear market? And then it switched over right there in December of 2018, or was the entire bear market, for example, all the way up to here to about March of 2020? I would say that it is a bear market until you start the cycle of newer, higher highs that break the old all-time high, basically. But then again, that's kind of difficult because you can only know that in hindsight. Like, this could have been the dip to end this bearish cycle that we've seen. It could be the start now of a new, more bullish run. And if we ignore everything that we've seen in the past, for example, just looking at crypto right now, what we're seeing is, on a weekly perspective, we made our solid base, right? We made a first high, making a new low right here, just kind of testing back in this zone, retesting, before making a new high, for example, before coming back down potentially a little bit, and then again, making another new high, and so forth and so on. It is just impossible to say up front, but that's why I keep on telling people these areas are the one where the most amount of people are just buying crypto, because the odds of winning in this is just really, really high. Now, XRP got themselves all the way back towards the 0.382 Fibonacci level. We didn't actually touch it just quite yet, but we did come quite close. And I'm not exactly sure how it could be that cryptos are falling this severe right now. Then again, you can see on the entire altcoin front, altcoins just broke out to the downside. And I know we did cover it yesterday already, that they were falling and what our strategy was going to be, but I did not expect a fall this much. And so again, what we do, guys, everybody in the crypto space knows this. You can't exactly know up front what's going to happen. You anticipate certain scenarios and act on them. We covered two scenarios yesterday, all right? And even a couple of days before that, we talked about them because XRP, Bitcoin, everything broke out towards the downside. we said once more, we can actually start buying right now once it's getting close to some of those support levels. Again, we broke the first support level, which was quote unquote sad. Then again, it did allow for us to even buy a little bit lower, so I can't really complain. And again, if we look here at the triangle which Bitcoin broke out of, this is the most closest support that we basically got, and which we bounced from right now. So we can also not say that it wasn't at all logical, right? In some perspective it is, but once more guys, I'm just buying like a freaking madman, and I think a lot of people are with me, but they're trying to say in the comment section to act cool, no, I knew it was going to fall lower. No, I'm not buying. I'm waiting for a bigger dip. The people eventually going to wish they bought, and I get that every single bull run, guys. Now, in the regards of why are we buying like crazy, part of it also has to do with the fact that we have relistings come. I wanted to say I had to sneeze. There we go. Part of the reason is, of course, that we have relistings coming up. But more importantly, guys, I still keep thinking the SEC v. Ripple case is on such a pivotal point. I don't want to be in a position where I don't have enough XRP. And as I even said yesterday in one of my videos, any chance we get to buy right now is better than a couple of weeks ago. But I remember when XRP was going to this $1.40 area, I was kind of feeling some regret. I was feeling regret that I did not buy more. And so this is a chance from a higher up. I always feel like that's always how I feel about it. This is a chance from someone higher up because he told you, look at XRP's price movement. XRP can do it. It's going to be breaking everything. All right. Relistings are just the start. They're going to happen, but they're just a start. So if you know it's going to happen, get yourself a good little pouch. That's, again, what it kind of tells me. And then again, guys, if you're all agreeing with me, because I'm thinking so, I think so. I want to say we might have to open a couple of extra long positions right now because we're getting close to my entry price. My highest entry was, I believe, 87 cents or so for my long. So right now I can actually add a ton of money to it without actually adding too much to the price. So unfortunately, I'm still not logged in, so that's a little bit annoying. Once I'm logged in, though, I'll show you guys that I'm going to be buying a ton of extra XRP. I'm going to add it to the long position because once more, guys, I want to always have this position open. And as long as the leverage is not too insane, I think it's going to make me a ton of freaking money once we recover. These are juicy areas for me to start buying in. And some people might point out, oh, there's a bearish pennant, there's a bearish this, bearish that. Well, yeah, but that depends on the trend, right? You can always count or make, for example, let's actually kind of get that one. Let's put it in again. A bearish pennant in the price, like for example, right here, a bearish pennant will look a little bit more along the lines of this. It has a flagpole, as you can see right here, and the pennant itself, which is usually kind of a bearish thing because that's a downtrend before it came back up a little bit before continuing on with the downtrend. Usually kind of following along with the line, along the lines of this, for example, right? That's how it usually works with the bearish pennant. Not always, but that's usually the theory behind it. I don't really believe it though, because again, you have to look at the trend to confirm things of that nature. And the trend, if you zoom out a little bit, is actually still extremely bullish. It's just the short term that looks a little bit more bearish. But again, I'm just not giving it too much credit. Having said that, again, Tao working with SBI to help XRP get relisted over in Japan. It's very, very nice. It's, however, just the start as well though, guys. This ain't everything, as you guys probably know. Just the start for many other exchanges to come. Now, talking about that, let me quickly talk about the Coinbase situation before we talk about the market. Coinbase dropped plans to launch interest product after the CEO basically kind of had this SEC comment over on Twitter. So Brian Armstrong of Coinbase went to kind of rant against the SEC for their interesting policy, but after they did that, they basically said, you know what, we're pulling our hands away. SEC, you kind of win this battle. And so, to me, that's really peculiar. But I am assuming Coinbase is doing that because, well, even though they don't have the proper guidance, he's too afraid of the consequences for the company. So once more, they dropped their lending product after the SEC lawsuit threat. The program, which would provide about a 4% annual interest on your USDC stablecoin holdings, will actually not be launched. A lot of big proponents in the crypto space said, launch it and then accept the lawsuit from SEC and fight it out. But apparently, either Coinbase doesn't think they can win, or, as a lot of companies have, they would rather just not take the chance because they know the rules aren't clear. There's now quite a lot of debate about whether or not Coinbase has some insider info at the SEC because they really resolve this in really kind of a soundless manner where most other companies would go down with a really big battle. Then again, maybe that's just the way in which they actually didn't do anything wrong, but they were just gonna do something wrong. Because apparently, if you look at their books, they did get a pretty big threat from the SEC. And I would think that Ethereum, for example, never even got a threat like that because they're working together too much on it, right? So, yeah. I would say I think Coinbase is gonna wait for proper regulation to come in instead of just fighting their way through this litigation. Because from one perspective, it's also their morale, right? It's like they would rather get things properly regulated than, again, kind of rush through it and make sure they get sued and give the SEC more credits for just suing companies left, right. Yeah, I can kind of give them some credit for it. All right, over $300 billion wiped off Bitcoin markets. Solana, XRP, ADA, whatever, everything has just been falling down. And the thing is, guys, nobody's going to be able to figure out exactly why, but it's Bloody Monday. And that's the thing. A lot of people point out to Bloody Monday. It's a very common phenomenon where people sometimes say Sunday, but that depends because sometimes it's Sunday for the US and Monday basically for Europe or Asia. That's the day of the doom, right? Basically the last day of the weekend or the first day of the week. Those are usually the most active in that sense. I guess we can also see it as a positive thing though, guys. It's finally some volatility, finally some action. So we got a lot of liquidations today. I'm actually going to cover that in the next crypto update, which is going to be coming out. And generally speaking here, altcoins are falling, yes, but it's really not that bad. I guess it really actually isn't that bad. People are just more making a big fuss out of it. But yeah, maybe that's because nobody knows exactly why things fell. And that happens very often in the crypto space. Usually follows stocks quite nicely. We can actually, for example, open up TradingView to see how our stock's doing right now, right? Usually, I think TradingView actually updated. Usually it would have all the stocks right here. Oh, there we go. So the S&P fell 2%, NASDAQ fell 2.5%, Dow fell 2.5%, Russell fell 2.5%. So again, once more, the dollar index doing quite steady. It's just because the freaking S&P fell hard right now, and all these other indices fell hard. There's no real crypto reason. It's because people's investments, they're scared of them. So they're moving over into these other things. It's not something really too crazy from that perspective. That's often a very common phenomenon that people think, oh, no, it's definitely this, definitely. No, very often it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. It really is a lot simpler. Then, by the way, guys, make sure you press the like button if you are enjoying these daily updates. I try to make them as fun as possible. So make sure you support the channel because, why not? Cardano founder firmly opposes the ADA burn proposal, and here is why. There was basically this idea of getting ADA destroyed. And here's actually a little fun quote. We're also so glad that you can tell us that we gotta destroy other people's money so that you can make a little extra money and then sell the ADA and move on to something else. The token burn, or deflationary tokenomics, proposes to remove a certain amount of tokens from the circulating supply, making the existing tokens more valuable. Ethereum became the latest to join on the deflationary token bandwagon post the London hard fork, and it has already burnt over $1 billion worth of Ether since the implementation. Apart from ETH, Binance also burns BNB. Now, Hoskinson is known to be a straight shooter and never minces his words despite the flood of criticism and trolling leading up to the latest smart contract update. However, earlier the Cardano founder has urged developers to create a proof of burn app that would allow users to send their ADA to an address to destroy it. Thus, he believes those who want to burn their tokens are free to do so, but not any someone else's costs. So the idea basically is there, you can burn some ADA, but only the specific ADA that people want to be burned. So it's not deflationary by nature, but is deflationary in the sense that people can actually get rid of their coins. Now, the thing is, right now, you can actually already do that because if you, for example, make an address somewhere and again, throw away the private key. The only problem is people find it really difficult to actually throw away the private key, and sometimes it's not completely thrown away. And if you just send it to a random address, sometimes somebody else gets it, so it's not actually burned. Well, if you want to send it away, you can kind of though, right? Theoretically speaking, you can just throw away the private key in your garbage bin, and then nobody's ever going to find it, right? If you put the private key on a piece of paper, you write it down, and you just destroy the piece of paper, nobody's ever going to get that private key again. So you can actually do it if you really, really want to. But then again, why would you want to, right? That's kind of a strange thing. Now, what is this all referring to? Let's actually start at the beginning. Cardano founder Charles is strongly against the idea of deflationary economics, which has become quite popular in the crypto world. Hoskinson, during a recent AMA on YouTube, expressed his strong displeasure against the idea of token burn, comparing it to stealing food. He said the proposal reflects people's greed and stupidity and explained, well, once more, what this is referring to is, for example, with Ethereum, the miners are now getting lesser of a reward because a part of it just gets burned, just gets thrown away. And from a certain perspective, it is destroying or stealing food because, well, what you're basically doing is you're giving the people that arrange this stuff less of a salary, less money, just so that everybody else's money is worth a little bit more. So it's a really selfish game from that perspective. Then again, I don't really see it in the same sense as stealing food, because obviously it can be healthy for the mechanism if there's just not an infinite amount of extra amount of coins, because a lot of people just like it more that way if a crypto doesn't have an unlimited supply, basically, right? So it's a 50-50 kind of thing. All right, having said that, move over into the last topic here, which was Ethereum 2.0, deposit contracts surpassing $25 billion worth of ETH. The contract now has more than 7.7 million Ethereum inside of it, and that's actually really mind-boggling to me, that this many people decided to store up their Ethereum and just trust the entire process of Ethereum 2.0 launching, because it can still take a long time before you can actually get your money back. And that's kind of funny to me, just how dedicated people are to it. But then again, it also does show the faith that people have in Ethereum switching over to proof of stake. And of course, the earlier you are, the more money that you can actually make with that. And I mean, it's free Ethereum, right? People at the start could have gotten about a 20% return. So from that perspective, it is free, completely free money. And since some of the biggest guys in the crypto space are doing it already too, then a lot of people are like, yeah, why not, right? If you can make free money with your Ethereum with native staking, why not do it? Because once more, it is completely free. And I do respect the grind. I do respect the idea. All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and again, subscribe to the channel. We've been losing a ton of subscribers every time that the prices fall. People decide to unsubscribe. If you're enjoying these updates, make sure you press that like button. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. This was not financial advice, not legal advice, and you should not buy anything or sell anything because of my words.